In ATLAS.ti, your data, whether they are Word documents or PDFs or visual materials such as JPEGs or bitmaps or video audio, are assigned to your ATLAS project. They are not imported into an internal database. They actually remain outside of ATLAS.ti, and your ATLAS.ti project is like a template that fits on top of those documents. And what ATLAS.ti records is the path to where your documents are located. You can see what documents are in a project by looking in the document combo box, and that is this first box that you see under the toolbar. And if I click on the drop down button there, you can see a list of all the different data that I have in this project. And as you can see, I have Word documents, I have audio files, I have image files. And if I want to load a particular document, so I'll just load this image file here, I just click on it and it opens up. And I can view it and I can see how it's been coded, if it has been coded. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to close this document by just going up to the menu bar to Documents and Close Doc. Your data is organized in the Primary Document Manager, and there are two ways to access the Primary Document Manager. The first way is through the menu bar by just selecting Documents, and in the drop-down list you see there's an option for Primary Doc Manager. Or I'll just close this down. The other way to do it is next to the Primary Document combo box is a little button that says PDocs, and if I just click on that little button, the Primary Document Manager opens. As you can see, I have quite a bit of information here. First of all, there's an ID, the P number of the documents. The P numbers are automatically assigned by ATLAS.ti when you assign a piece of data to your ATLAS.ti project. And if you are just working alone on your own project, you're not working with another person, you're not part of a team, you don't really have to worry about P numbers. P numbers simply are the ways that ATLAS.ti identifies the document. So, for example, ATLAS.ti does not recognize the name of the document, which in this case the first one is Bob Pre-Talk Aloud Interview, but what it recognizes is P1. The P numbers become important if you're working in a team, because the way you work with the team in ATLAS.ti is that each team member has their own version of the project, and they divide up the work in however they want to divide it up, and that at a certain point you have to merge each team member's project into one overall project. And it's at that point that the P numbers are important, because the merge cannot happen if, for example, in my project, P1 is the Bob Talk Aloud interview, and in my team members project, P1 is, let's say, focus group 1. You can't merge it. So therefore it's very important, if you are working in a team, that you have some way of managing the P numbers so that everyone has exactly the same P number assigned to each piece of data. So I won't go through that anymore at point, but that's something I could get back to later. Also, you can see that the default is that it's ordering the data in P number order, but if you prefer to have it by alphabetical order in the Document Manager, you just click on the name column, and now you can see it's organized my data in alphabetical order. Or if I want to have it ordered by media, so similar medias all together, by just clicking on the media heading in the column for media, you can see now I have all my audio files together, my image files, etc. Or I can also order it by how many quotations have been created for each document. As you can see in this particular project, most of my coding has been done in the two focus groups. And you can see that immediately because they have the largest number of quotations. There's also a column for author, a column for date created, and date of the last modification. And I can order it by all of those. And also the last column here is origin. And what origin refers to is the path to where that piece of data is located, either on your computer or on a server drive that you that document happens to be on. Right. Now I'll just put it back in P number order. Now each document, if I select each document here, you can write a description about what that document's about, and I've just selected P1, Bob Pre-Talk Aloud Interview, and as you can see the description is in the comment box at the bottom, so I can see that was a telephone interview I did on the 10th of March 2008, and I can select each one and I can see what each of these pieces of data are about in the comment box. So it's up to you what information goes there, but it's usually something that reminds you what that piece of data is about. Document families are an important tool in ATLAS.ti. This is the place where you represent the research design of your project, and it allows you to analyze not just the whole data set, but parts of the data set, and to be able to compare one part of the data set with another. To view the document families in a project, you can either use the menu bar, so you go up to Documents, select Edit Families, and select Open Family Manager. Or the other way of doing it, the quicker way, is to hold your Control key down on the keyboard and select the PDocs button, which is next to the primary document combo box. As you can see here, I have document families to represent the different types of data I have in the project. So you can see this big screen shows all the families that I have in the project. Underneath I have two screens. The screen on the right is giving me a list of the data in my project that have not been assigned to that particular family I've selected. And the left-hand window is showing me the data that has been assigned to the particular document family I've selected. So you can see here I have selected audios, and I can see listed in this window here all the audios that I have in this particular project. The same thing for focus groups. I have listed all the focus groups that I have in the project, both the original audio 5 and the transcription, which is linked to the audio file. And the advantage of that is that if I just want to work or analyze my focus groups, for example, because I have a document family, I can restrict my analysis to just the focus groups. And if I double click it, and now if I look at my drop-down list in the combo box, I only see the focus group data. So now any analysis I do will just be restricted to the focus group material. And it's as if the other data has been temporarily disconnected from the project. And if I want to take off that filter, I can just double click again in the Document Family Manager focus group. So now you can see all my documents are now back connected to the project. So you should have a document family for each type of data that you have in your project. You can also see that I have used document families to represent the variables that I have in this study. So one of the variables are the A levels the type of A-levels that the students have selected to do. And also I have document families for gender, male and female. And for this project, those are really the only relevant variables that I have, at least at the moment. And you can always combine document families. To do so, I would just open the Superfamily tool, which is under Families, Open Superfamily tool. Or if I use the toolbar, it's this little symbol that is a red square. I click on that. I have the Superfamily tool for my primary documents. So if I want to just restrict my analysis to my female students who are doing studying all humanities, and I've just used the Boolean AND for that. I can actually see that in this case I don't have any female students just studying all humanities. So I'll just undo that. And this time, if I just look at my male students studying all humanities, and now you can see here is that Russell and Zidane. So all the data that relates to Russell and Zidane show in the window. So I can now save this as by creating a superfamily, which I'll just call male students and all humanities for their A-levels. And it's added to my list of document families. I'll just close the Superfamily tool. So you can see here it's added to this list of document families, and if I select it, you can see that all the material that relate to Russell and Zidane are listed here. And again, I can double click that family and restrict my analysis just to them. So I'll just take that off. Now if you have a longitudinal study, you would want to create document families for each time period, so you can restrict your analysis just to all my material from time 1, all my material to time 2. Also for longitudinal studies, if you're interviewing someone more than once, you should have a document family for each respondent. So if you're interviewing someone 3 times, for example, all 3 of their interviews would be assigned to their document family, and then you'd be able to restrict your analysis to just that person, but you'd be able to look at their answers over time. So in sum, the document family is a way that you can represent your research design in ATLAS.ti. It's a very key tool, and it's one of the first things you should think about when you're setting up your project in ATLAS.ti.